What's up, YouTube? Today, I'm going to be reacting to Jimmy High Roller, bro. The weirdest NBA trade I've ever seen. Now, let's see what he's talking about. It looked like he's talking about the Ben Simmons and James Harden trade. I really don't think it's that weird because, like, bro, the Nets needed, the defense, rebounding, and they got that with Ben Simmons. And what's it called? The 76ers needed, they didn't really need a ball handler. No, not really, but they needed like a second star, right? To like see if that can get them over the hump. So they got James Harden. So and the Nets got Andre Drummond. I think they gave up too much for James Harden, in my opinion, 76ers. But hey, they value James Harden that highly. Hey, do you? But let's get into the fucking reaction though. Let's see what my son Jimmy talking about, bro.
I cannot believe it actually happened.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is no longer with the 76ers.
Yeah.
Just 13 months into his time with the Nets, James Harden is gone. What could have easily been the greatest big three in NBA history has quickly became a cautionary tale for the rest of the league.
Yeah.
And the era of the super team is coming to an end.
See, I don't agree with that because, bro, Ben Simmons can still be part of big three, my nigga. Because, like, bro, he could play defense, rebound, assist. His shooting, not there, but it's like, bro, just imagine, bro. He go to the Nets and start hitting threes and shit, bro. Then it's like, then it's a fucking wrap for the league, my nigga. Ben Simmons go to the Nets, start hitting threes. It's like, bro.
Today's video is sponsored by Draft.
Sorry, my guy. I'm not getting paid. I fuck with you, but I ain't
getting paid.
If
you told me 2 years ago that Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden would all be on the same team, I wouldn't believe you. I would not believe that other teams would allow this cheat code of a team to even happen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, if you told me that Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden would all be on the same team and that they would never win a championship, I would assume that the entire league folded and ceased to exist in the middle of their title run. That would be the
that's true.
Logical explanation. A team
I guess they just didn't work out.
Isn't even supposed to exist. Nobody can compete with this. And yet, after a season and a half, non-stop rumors, and unfulfilled potential, this Nets trio is already a thing of the past, with absolutely nothing to show for it.
This a failed big three, I'm not gonna lie. This a failed big three.
Dropped a bomb on the NBA world yesterday in a trade that featured James Harden for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry,
I think the Nets won this trade like crazy.
Now, first things first, both teams just got better. Ben Simmons was never going to suit up for the Sixers again, so they had to find a valuable asset to trade for him. Did they give up too much for James Harden? Probably. But with Embiid playing out of his mind for the last 2 seasons, the Sixers knew they needed to go all in before they squandered away Embiid's best years.
That's right.
They now have a roster that will compete with any team in the league. And the Nets just got the extra depth and defense they desperately needed while picking up 2 first-round picks
and a shooter, bro.
This whole trade is weird because at first
they got a shooter who's, bro, Steph Curry's a better shooter than Joe Harris, my nigga. Bro, you see how Joe Harris be in the playoffs, bro? Choking open threes and shit? Nigga, not Steph Curry. Steph Curry won't have that problem. Watch, he gonna be gunning those threes like crazy.
A drama queen who refuses to play in exchange for a former MVP, potentially 5 players for 1. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But when you get into the details, this is actually the best case scenario for both teams considering their circumstances.
I agree with that.
But for a moment, can we discuss the magnitude of this team's downfall? The fact that this trio is possibly the biggest what-if team in NBA history.
That's true.
Including the playoffs, the Durant, Irving, Harden trio have been on the Nets for a total of 126 games.
Damn.
Out of those 126 games, all 3 stars have suited up and played together in just 16.
Damn.
Just 16 games out of 126.
Bro, this terrible big three, bro.
The Nets went 13-3, which means when they all played together, they won 81% of their games.
Yeah,
of course,
but injury fucked them up,
this big three never
and
with each other
Kyrie with the COVID thing and
stuff.
stuff.
That, my friends, is tragic.
So
if this big three could have stayed healthy and put their egos to the side, they could have easily won multiple championships. Think about how close the Nets were to beating the eventual
they stayed healthy
season in the Bucks with no Kyrie and a crippled James Harden. If KD were a size 10.5 in men's shoes, they all might just be sitting on a championship together right now. If
Facts.
a young, inexperienced OKC team with Westbrook, Harden, and KD is a massive what-if in NBA history, what does that make this Nets trio? Because the fact is, when these three superstars played together, there wasn't a team in the entire league that could compete with them. But before you know it, this big three doesn't even exist anymore. Think about the series of events that led to this moment. Ben Simmons passes up on an easy basket. Doc Rivers publicly doubts him in front of millions. Simmons is pissed and refuses to play the following season, and he's now available to trade. James Harden goes down with an injury in the playoffs. Then Kyrie goes down with an injury. KD steps on the three-point line, and the Bucks win the series. The Nets have to regroup the following season, but they can't because Kyrie is sitting out every single game. James Harden is annoyed by this, and he wants out of Brooklyn. Kevin Durant gets injured in the middle of an MVP-caliber season, and now the Nets are really in trouble, and the Sixers capitalize on this opportunity by trading one disgruntled employee for another. If Harden doesn't get hurt in last season's playoffs, if Kyrie doesn't get hurt, if Durant doesn't step on the three-point line, if Kyrie gets vaccinated...
All I know, bro, I can't wait for March 10th, bro. When the 76ers versus the Nets, bro. Bro, that game is going to be crazy, bro. Bro, that thing going to be hilarious to watch.
Ben Simmons isn't afraid to dunk on a 6-foot-tall point guard.
All I know, if Ben Simmons come back and drop 40 on the 76ers, bro, I don't know what to say.
I bet they eventually win a ring. And the legacy of three all-time great players changes forever. In fact, I think all things considered, this season-and-a-half-long saga could not have gone any worse. Anything that could have went wrong. And yet, somehow, because of this specific set of circumstances, the Nets are now in a better situation after trading away a former MVP.
I agree.
But you want to know who's made it out better than anyone in the midst of this league-altering transaction?
Kevin Durant?
The most unlucky superstar of the decade, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid has had to sit back and put up with Simmons' antics for years. Embiid has never complained. He's never turned on Ben or the organization. He just put his head down and got better and better every single season. He's had to shapeshift and mold his game around Ben since Embiid is capable of this, being that he's the better and more versatile player of the two. Of course, you wouldn't know this since the Sixers front office has bent over backwards to please Ben, and the fact that just 2 seasons ago there were legitimate arguments as to who the Sixers should build their team around. But alas, here we are in 2022, with James Harden on his third team in 2 seasons. The Nets' big three coming and going in the blink of an eye, and Ben Simmons finally getting his way and getting out of Philadelphia.
Bro, nigga look like a statue,
you want to know
bro.
what's worse than a moody NBA star who only plays half the time? 2 moody NBA stars who only play half the time. But with this trade completely shaking up the East, we need to take a look at the bigger picture here. Super teams. Ever since the Celtics created the first modern super team in 2007,
bro, super teams are going crazy,
has
bro.
Been on this massive, perpetual hunt to land the biggest stars on the same team.
Yo, it is fucking crazy. Cause you know why? Bro, I remember when Kobe wanted Chris Paul, and the NBA was like, nah, nigga, you can't have Chris Paul on your team, my nigga, on some bullshit. Stopping him from winning another championship on some bullshit. It's, really, bro, this is crazy, bro.
The Heat created the big three in Miami. And after
bro, Kobe couldn't even get Chris Paul, bro. That's some fucked up shit.
Forget chemistry, forget salary caps. Let's chase the best players.
Yeah, fuck salary, nigga.
With us by any means necessary, even if it destroys the future of our franchise for the next decade.
Yeah.
And so it began. Super teams, or at least attempts to create these superstar line.
Yeah, and because in my opinion, I think the team that had KD, Kyrie, and the rest of the players like who was it? Jared Allen, I think Caris LeVert was on that team. All those other players before the James Harden trade, in my opinion, I think that team was a better team and a better like championship, contending team than the big three. In my personal opinion, because the big three didn't have no defense,
while small market teams with
like not really a bench, like they mainly just got like minimum veteran players. So it's like,
and 90% of regular season games were a foregone conclusion. The playoffs were in an even worse state. The first round became a graveyard for teams who were blissfully ignorant enough to think they even had a chance. And we all just sat around waiting for the finals matchup that we saw coming before the season even began. And then just a decade after the super team era began, we met the super team of all super teams.
Bro, that was a super team on steroids, bro. It was like, bro, at that point, it was like, the NBA was in a chokehold, bro. The Warriors was winning.
Insanely great Golden State Warriors signed Kevin Durant, and the league pretty much conceded for the next 3 seasons.
Yeah.
The concept of a super team had met its inevitable peak, and the moment it did, the league almost intuitively began to shift in another direction. Out of nowhere, the Raptors with just one star player won the NBA title. The following season,
injuries,
with an all-time great 1-2 punch, won the championship.
Bubble.
And last season, Giannis and the Bucks proved that a superstar with the right pieces around him can win it all. The era of the super team.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? Because out of like all the teams that I just mentioned, you could make excuses for like for all the reasons why this stuff happened. Like for the Lakers championship, people use the excuse, you know, it was in a bubble, no fans, no pressure, whatever. The Raptors won. People use the excuse like, bro, the Warriors was injured, like, bro, right? And then for the Giannis, excuse was that the whole East, all the star players was injured. Kawhi and them was injured in the West or whatever. So the Suns got through, and in the East, KD, Kyrie and them was injured and shit like that. So it's like, bro, people always argue why people like don't deserve some championships, but it's like, bro, every championship have an asterisk next to it. So it's like you can always make an excuse of any championship run, my nigga.
The super team has become nearly impossible to maintain. If you look at the state that the NBA is in right now, all of the top teams have 1, maybe 2 all-star caliber players with a
Yeah, 1 or 2. Yeah. Or I'll put Klay Thompson up there, my nigga. Even though he barely played, but it's like, bro, niggas so far, like, coming back, my nigga, he looking like an all-star. He obviously couldn't make it because he didn't play, the whole first half of the season, but he definitely would have made it if he played the first half.
Weaknesses and longevity. I think after seeing countless teams chase big names only to implode and tank the next 5 years of their franchise in the process with absolutely nothing to show for it, organizations have changed the blueprints for building and nurturing a successful team. The downfall of the Nets' Big Three could be the nail in the super team coffin. 6 years ago, the Golden State Warriors set the golden standard. But that team was an anomaly. 4 stars all willing to play their role and not fuss and complain about it. Every single player doing whatever it takes to win. We will never see another team like that. The Raptors didn't win their championship this way. Neither did the Lakers, and neither did the Bucks. And I think the demise of this Nets Big Three might just be the demise of the super team in the NBA. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time.
Bro, Jimmy, I fuck with you, but it's like, my personal opinion, I don't think it's the end of the super team. I just think, bro, it's just gonna take the right type of people to make the damn super team, and see who people trade up or doing free agency or whatever for it to actually happen again. But bro, I don't really agree with that. I stopped watching basketball after Kobe's last game. I can honestly say that this channel has single-handedly kept me connected to the sport. If I ever started watching again, it would be because of Jimmy. Okay, that's dope. This trade is actually so perfect for both teams. I'm like surprised it happened. Yes, I agree with that. I agree. It's perfect for both of them, to be honest. I really like how you credit the Celtics and not LeBron with creating super team. Bro, super teams always been around, even before LeBron or whatever. But LeBron created players making the super team. But super teams were always a thing before that. But the GM would just do it, while LeBron created like players making, going out of their way of making their own super team, whatever. But bro, Jimmy, another great video in my opinion, bro. I fuck with Jimmy videos, bro. Bro, Jimmy that nigga, bro. Jimmy that nigga. But like, comment, subscribe, and I check you out in the next one.